Welcome back everyone. It's been a while since we've talked about trade rumors, but as we know, the Lakers will always be involved in them. They have actually not been included in very many of them lately, but that will likely be changing very soon. With the NBA trade deadline being on February 9th, you can expect the trade rumors to begin heating up. And not only for them either, but for many teams around the NBA. And if you would like to hear my thoughts on trades involving other teams, then be sure to check out my second channel, JSM+. There will be a link for it both on the screen and in the video description down below. But purely in regard to what the Lakers might do, there have been two names that they have been continuously linked to, with those being Cam Reddish and Bojan Bogdanovic. And whether or not you agree with that, they appear to be two of the most available and realistic options for bigger wing players at the trade deadline. But should they be an option for the Lakers specifically, and what might they have to give up to acquire them? We'll talk about what recent reports have been saying about exactly that in today's video. And beginning with Cam Reddish, literally everyone knows that he is available. Following him being outright benched over a month ago now, the New York Knicks have been desperately trying to trade him. However, with them initially wanting a first-round draft pick for him, it's really no surprise that he has yet to be traded. That is what the Knicks gave up to acquire him, and they were hoping to get that back for him. Although, they now appear to have lowered their price. According to Michael Scotto, they are no longer demanding a first-round draft pick for him, as they are now open to trading him for 2 second-round picks. And while that would certainly be more fair compared to giving up a first-round draft pick, even that might be overvaluing him. They really need to understand how badly they ruined his trade value. Not only did he take a big step backwards in his development, but they outright play better without him. In my opinion, that's primarily due to their utilization of him, but it does show how difficult it can be to get reliable and consistent production out of Cam Reddish. I mean, the fact that they chose to outright bench him rather than find a different role for him was the ultimate way to devalue him, and at this point, they should feel lucky to get even a good second-round draft pick in return for him. And the only team that should give that up for him would be a rebuilding one, or one that is absolutely desperate for wing depth. And I think we can agree that the Lakers fall into that second category. They have more than enough shooting guard depth, but they have been lacking forward depth all year long, and a guy like Cam Reddish could help them out with that. Again, he is definitely not the most reliable player in the world, but if he is available for around a second-round draft pick, then he should definitely be a target for their team. Cam Reddish can play at both small forward and even power forward in a small ball lineup. He would immediately become one of their bigger wing players, and would likely find a role on their team due to that alone. Not only that though, but we have seen time and time again how the Lakers have helped turn around the career of young players, with Malik Monk, Stanley Johnson, and Wenyen Gabriel being great examples of that. Now, they should obviously not overpay for him, but I would be willing to give up Kendrick Nunn, along with a second-round draft pick for Cam Reddish. With all of that being said though, now moving on to Bojan Bogdanovic. And while it's definitely not the first time we've heard about him being linked to them, it does happen to be a first time for the player who is linked with him, with that player being Nerlens Noel. According to Howard Beck, the Lakers and Pistons have not only talked about Bojan Bogdanovic, but about a package including Nerlens Noel with him. The only problem is, that package has no way of working financially, as the Lakers do not have a player that can match that salary. If we combine the salary of Bogdanovic and Noel together, they amount to about $29 million, and there is no way for the Lakers to replicate that amount. They cannot get that by combining Patrick Beverley and Kendrick Nunn together, and then they will get way more than that from Westbrook alone, which would therefore require a different combination of players. Detroit could either include another $10+ million salary with them, or they would have to trade both Bogdanovic and Noel separately for this deal to work, and I really doubt the Lakers are looking to do that. In my opinion, the logical scenario here would be including Alec Burks, another veteran player who does not really fit Detroit's future. He could be included with them to make the deal work, and then in return for them, the Lakers would have to include Westbrook, which, although they have been reluctant to do lately, this might be a package worth considering. They would likely have to give up one unprotected first-round draft pick, along with a second-round draft pick or two to get the deal done, as we know about the increasing trade value of Bojan Bogdanovic. According to reports, the Detroit Pistons want a first-round draft pick for him alone, and while Nerlens Noel does nothing to affect the value of this deal, the inclusion of Alec Burks would. I really doubt they could get a first-round draft pick for him, but they could likely get a couple of second-round picks, and between Burks and Bogdanovic, I think they would be worth giving up a completely unprotected first-round draft pick. They might be at the tail end of their primes, but they're literally exactly what the Lakers need. Two bigger wing players who are incredible three-point shooters. They would fit perfectly in their rotation. Between the two of them, they make over 4 3-point shots per game and knock them down at over a 40% clip each, and you really can't ask for anything more than that. That's not all they provide either. They combine for 35 points per game, 5 assists per game, and only 3.9 combined turnovers. They are not going to find a better fitting package for around that price, and while they would have to waive a player to make the trade go through, I believe it would be worth it. I mean, simply adding Bogdanovic would do wonders for them. He would take a huge offensive burden off LeBron, and would fit perfectly with both him and Anthony Davis within their offense. But then when you include Alec Burks with him, that would only make it better. He would dramatically improve their bench unit, and could fill a similar role to the one Caldwell Pope used to fill. Again, I'm not huge on the inclusion of Nerlens Noel, and especially with his prior history with Clutch Sports, but I believe it would be worth it for them. They could even theoretically include a third team to take on his contract, but that might involve more draft compensation, and I really doubt they would be willing to do that. Although, if they could get former enemies Patrick Beverley and Russell Westbrook to get along, I would not be too worried about Nerlens Noel. To wrap everything up here though, with under a month until the trade deadline, the two names that I would be keeping an eye on are Cam Reddish and Bojan Bogdanovic. They are the two most reoccurring names to them, and at this point, I really believe they'll end up with at least one of them, and despite Reddish being the more likely one, I would not completely rule out Bojan Bogdanovic. He appears to be on their very short list of players who they would give up a first-round draft pick for. The only problem is, they are not alone in wanting him. There are a number of teams who have been calling about him, and it will likely end up being a bidding war at the trade deadline, which could make him rather difficult for the Lakers to acquire. With all of that being said though, what do you guys think? Would you like to see the Lakers go after one of, or even both of Cam Reddish and Bojan Bogdanovic? Let me know your thoughts by commenting down below and we can talk about it there. That will do it for this video though. Big thank you to those of you who took the time to watch until the end of this video, and until the end of all of my videos in general. I really hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, be sure to drop a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you have not already, and turn on notifications to get notified right away when I drop a new video. But as always, thank you for watching and have a great day.